This conference will now be recorded.
Hello.
Yeah, hi Anu.
Hi Lakshmi, how are you?
Yeah, good. So how are you doing?
I'm good, I'm good. Lakshmi, the other day when you were teaching the what topic was it? In the modifiers, when you were teaching the abstract and the final non-access modifiers.
Sorry?
In the modifiers, you taught us about the public and the package access modifiers,
Yeah.
and after that you taught us about the abstract and the final non-access modifiers.
Yes.
When you were saying abstract and final, the system froze.
The system?
We couldn't hear you from the other end after a
Oh,
while.
okay. Yeah, we'll discuss that.
Yep.
So hope the screen is shared.
Yeah,
So,
the screen is shared. Yep.
so we have non-access modifiers.
Yep.
They are abstract and so what is an abstract? When you make a class as an abstract, you can't create an object for the abstract class. Okay? So you
Yep.
can't create object for abstract class. But to access the methods from abstract class, but we can create child. We can create child class. Okay. So with the help of this child class object, you can access the methods from abstract parent class.
Can't create object for abstract, but can create child class. Okay. Yep. Yep.
Now I'm just creating a class in the package.
Yep.
And this class I'll put it as an abstract, and let's make this as a sample. No main method.
Mm-hmm.
In this class, we are mentioning one method, public void multiplication, and some code. Now, if you see, observe this class, it is along with public and abstract keyword is there. So now the class is abstract.
Yeah.
Now, as I said, I can't run this program. Okay, let's create a class where I can call this method.
Yeah.
Demo the class with public static void main.
Yeah.
Here, I want to access this mul method in the sense I need to create an object for this sample.
Yeah.
New sample. But here I'm getting an error. Cannot instantiate for the sample class. Why? Because it is an abstract.
Yeah.
Can I call the public static void main inside our own class and create an object?
No.
Again, the same problem we get.
Yeah.
Cannot instantiate means from here it is concluded that for abstract class objects cannot be created and neither the methods can be called.
Yeah.
Now what is the solution? You need to make this demo class as a child for this sample. So how to
Yeah.
make a
I
child?
have a question here, though, Lakshmi. In real time, in the companies wise, do they usually use abstract?
Yes, if you don't want to accept access the content within that class by other classes, you want to restrict it, you can go for abstract. For example, banking. Your balance details should not be accessed by any of the method in the project.
Okay. Yeah.
But they should be accessed. Now you see you took a loan. So the interest has to be deducted from your balance.
Yes.
So loan section is a child for your savings account.
Yeah.
So the rate of interest, whatever is there, that method should be able to access the content from your savings account class, the balance method.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
no
makes sense.
object
Now it
to
makes
access
sense.
it, but only that particular loan section can access it,
Yeah.
where automatically deducts.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah.
We need to make this class as a child. So how to make a class for that? It's an inheritance concept. This is making a parent and a child. The inheritance example itself is this. Okay. So
Okay.
I use a keyword extends.
Yeah.
Extends and write the parent class name. Now your child class has an permission to access each and everything mentioned in the parent. How? By creating an object for the child class.
Yep.
Now D1 dot, you find it, my method is from the sample class. And you can run it. So the code from the parent class got executed with the child class object. This is abstract. It happens with the abstract keyword, where it is taking help of the inheritance concept, parent and a child relation. Now what is final? Okay, if you want this example, okay, put it here. Now what is final? Final is something you say that's an endpoint to the class. No more child can be created beyond it. That's the
Okay.
last. That's to may specify that concept or that message. We make it as a final. So when I say this as a final, now the class sample is a final. Means now see automatically I got an error here. What is that? The type demo cannot be subclass of final class sample.
Yeah.
So when the class sample itself is a final, so no more child to it. You can't.
Allow. Yeah.
So you can't inherit.
Yeah.
Then
In
how
a real
to
world, can you give me an example of a final class? Like
uh,
how you do an example in the banking.
now final, you can say now you're logging out. Beyond logout, there's nothing. Correct?
Yeah.
When you log out, it's completely closing off your transaction to that application. So
Okay.
beyond
There's no
logout,
activity after
that's
that.
final.
Yeah.
So that you can take as an example, final.
Yeah.
Now, how to access this null method when you can't create a child? You can create a object for it. Object is accessible. S1 dot, you can find null method. Also, you can create an object for the parent class in another class. It's acceptable. S1 null. So final classes objects can be created and accessed, but cannot be inherited. Okay. Objects can be created, but cannot can't be inherited. Means no parent and a child relation. That's about the. So these are the some modifiers which you can associate to your class.
Yeah.
And when you're coming to the methods, null is a method. Methods also some has some modifiers. For example, public.
Yeah.
When you make method as a public, means this method can be called from other classes of same package P1 and also by P2 also because it is public.
Yeah.
Okay. When you say default, means if I remove this public keyword, it is a default, no modifier. So in that case,
Even though the method exists in a final class, that method can be used by somewhere else.
yes,
Yeah,
no more child, but can be accessed, correct?
can be accessed. Yeah.
So when right now the method is without a public modifier, means it is a default. So this method can be called by classes only within same package, P1 only. It is accessible here. But this cannot be called by classes of other packages of P2 or Java. Other packages can't access.
Yeah.
If you write one class in P2, example, main method, and here we are trying to create an object for this sample. I want to create an example for dem object for sample. So now I'm not able to create. It's asking for me to import sample from P1, means get the permission of importing. Once after import, object is created, ss dot. I don't find here add method, mul method, because it is default, no modifier. So the method without modifier, that's a default modifier, cannot be accessed in other packages.
Yeah.
Okay, that's about the method modifier. So we can write here access modifiers for methods. There are 4 types of access modifiers for method. One is public, second one default, private, one protected. Okay, private and default we just discussed. Public and default. What is private? If you want to keep your information private only for that particular class, you can use this. For example, I'm making this method as private, mul as a private. When it is private, this method is, I'm able to call it, correct? There's no error. Means I can run this class. So the method is declared inside this class and I'm able to call there. What about this demo? I'm getting an error here. The mul method of type sample is not visible. It's not visible only to other class, even though they are in same package.
Yeah, even the same package, because it's private, it's not visible.
Yeah. Okay. And same way, there's no question of other package, obviously it will be not accessible. When you put a dot, you don't see here mul method at all. Not accessible. Right? So for private, you can say the private method can be accessed in the class where it is declared.
Only in the class where it is declared. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Only wherever it is declared. That's it. Elsewhere, even though it is same package, other package, no access.
No access.
Now, what is protected?
Is it more secure than the private?
Yes. So if I make it as so you can use this class inside the package, okay? But not in other packages. Now this is protected. I can access in the same class, okay? And here I can access in the classes of same package. It's something, best example, a landline.
Yeah.
In your home. So who all can access the your landline phone? Your relatives who come to you and your family members.
Yes.
So the classes inside the same package can access it, protected. And when I go for private, your phone, your personal phone,
Yeah.
that's private. Only you will access it, not others.
Yeah.
But this protected method is not accessible to classes of other package.
Yeah.
If your neighbors, others people can't access your landline.
Yep.
So that is private and protected. So protected, you can say the protected method can be accessed in the declared class, declared class, and by classes of same package. Okay, by same package. That is protected. So this is the example of accessing the protected. So these are the modifiers which you can pass to your methods and classes. Also, you can pass the modifiers for your variables also. If I say integer x is equal to 100, that's declared and assigned, fine. But this x is only accessible by classes of same package P1.
Okay.
If you want this x to be accessed by P2 classes also, I should make this as public. Publicly
Okay. But
accessible.
if the variables exist within a package or within a class, and if class is public, that means it belongs to that particular class only, right? Like
Yeah, it is. This is belonging to this class,
this class.
and this can be accessed by sample also because it is in the same package,
Yeah. Yep.
but not accessible by P2 class. Why? Because it is non-public.
The whole class itself will be private, then it can't be accessed.
Not the class. We are talking about only the integer variable.
No.
As you method as protected private. Also, you can make your variable also publicly accessible and restricted with
But
default.
Lakshmi, like variables exist in a class, right? Variables
Hmm.
exist in a class. If the
Yes.
variables, like if the class itself is private,
Hmm.
if any variables existing in that class is obviously private. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't access anything from that class because
If the
object
class
only
is
is
not
not
private.
created.
Okay. So like whatever you define, is there any scenario where you can define a class at a public level, but
Hmm.
an integer at a private? The
Private
variable
means only accessible. If I don't use this public, it's a private only. This variable
okay,
can be used by the methods inside that class
is that okay?
or
Yeah.
within the package. Any local, for accessing any data, you want to store some value in the sense you can declare variable.
Yeah.
But public is something a scenario where you want this variable to be accessed throughout the project, global variables kind of thing.
Yeah.
That value should be accessed, that variable should be taken a reference throughout the project, irrespective of whichever package you are.
Mm-hmm.
Then we can make this as public.
Yeah.
So wherever I use X in any of the project, any of the packages, it will be 100 here.
Yeah.
So these are the modifiers which we can use according to our requirement scenarios. Right?
Yeah.
Now in Java, you find the OOPS concept. So
Yeah.
what are the different types of OOPS concept? We have 5 are there. We can implement abstraction, encapsulation, polymorphism, inheritance, and interface. These are the 5 OOPS concepts. Any technology following these concepts, we call that is a OOPS based technology. C language is an OOPS technology. .NET, you can say C++, C language, Java, all these are OOPS technology.
Okay.
In Java, you can use the concept of abstraction, encapsulation, polymorphism. These are things. What is abstraction?
Yep.
Abstraction is something you want to hide your data in the class. You don't want to share it with other classes.
Yep.
So hide the data means for abstraction I can use make the class as an abstract. Earlier we did, right? We made this class as abstract. So no object can be created and anyways you can't access it.
Yep.
Okay. So when you make a class with the keyword abstract, abstraction can be done. You are hiding it.
Yep.
You're hiding your method information from the class. So that is one, that concept of using abstract keyword itself is an abstraction concept. So abstraction means here hiding the data of class. Okay.
Yep.
Now you can how to make the class as hidden? You can use the keyword abstract. You can use the keyword abstract. Now let's make a class. I'm just deleting the. We have empty packages. We are making a class. Example. I'm not taking any main method, and I'll put okay. Just a simple class. Now in this simple class, we are creating one method, public void, suppose add. And I want to, now this method can be accessed by any class, correct? It's public, class also is public. But in this class, I want to write one more method, where I want to apply the abstract keyword.
Okay.
Public.
So in a class, we know that we can define multiple methods, but those multiple methods can have different access as well. Like they can be private, one can be private, one can be abstract within the same class.
Along with private, abstract is different. Abstract means hiding. I want to hide the logic from that method.
Yes.
Okay. Public void sub is a method. This is just simple method. The structure is fine. Now, if I want to hide the code of this sub method, I can make this method also abstract. As we earlier made the class as abstract, method also can be made abstract. When I use this abstract, it's saying abstract methods don't specify the body. Whenever you make a method abstract, body is not allowed.
Oh.
Just only declaration. So,
but how do you write the code for it within, like when you're saying method is abstract, but you need to write some kind of
whichever class calls that method, they can write their own code. Don't have body. Okay, this is fine. It should be always after declaration end the method with semicolon, no body. Now what? Some more error. The type example must be an abstract class to define an abstract method. Means if any class having any one method also abstract, the class also should have a keyword abstract. Second rule. If the class is having any one method, sub is abstract right now. So class also should be abstract. It's a rule.
So what you're trying to say is, if one of the methods in a class is abstract, the class itself should be abstract?
Yes. You should use keyword abstract. If any of the method is abstract, then class also must be abstract. Third rule. Okay.
Yeah.
When an abstract class is there, abstract class can contain non-abstract and abstract methods. Both can be there. Non-abstract methods means method with code. Abstract methods means no code, no body, just declaration.
Yeah.
Now, where will I write this code for this sub? I'll create one more class. Suppose demo with the main method. As you know, abstract class cannot be created, cannot create object. This we already discussed.
Yeah.
Abstract class, I can't create an object, for example, now and access this methods, two methods. No. What I have to do? Inheritance. I have to create a child class for it. Extends. Correct?
Yep.
Now what is the error here? It is saying your parent class has one method which don't have a code, unimplemented method. Which method? That is a sub. So you have to, this child class should write a code for it, should implement it. So
Okay.
to get it directly, I can click on this add unimplemented method. So automatically it's come override, add override, public void sub, the body. Here I have to write the body. Okay. I write here once it's out.
So because there is no code in that public abstract void sub, you have to
Yes.
write your own code in here.
Yeah. Any class, whichever calls this method, this class should write a code for it, mandatory.
Yeah.
Although you use it or not, but code must be implemented.
Yeah. Otherwise, you
Now,
can't do that.
yeah, you can't use it. Now you have to create an object for demo in the main method. D1 dot, you'll find add is coming from example and sub is coming from demo, whatever code the demo class has written. Okay, code got executed. Get it? So if this class, if I have one more child for this class, so they can write their own code. It is something the bank is deciding the interest formula, how to calculate an interest. And all the HDFC, ICICI Bank, all these national and international banks are taking that formula of creating the rate of interest, the same formula, but they'll put their own percentage rate of interest.
Yep.
So when HDFC is taking this rate of interest method, it will write its own formula of percentage of rate of interest. When ICICI child class is there of bank class, taking the parent class as bank, and whenever it's implementing the code of interest, it will write its own percentage. So implementation is left to the child classes.
Yeah.
Okay? So this is the concept of abstraction. Where abstraction means you are hiding the data from that class not accessible, and whichever class is a child for that can implement their own code.
Yep.
Okay, so this is some example of an encapsulation abstraction.
Um, is it? Do you have any online links or any material just to go through this a bit more in detail?
Are you not getting the recording?
Oh yeah, I can get, just if you have to go in bit more detail and read. Like I don't know how much Selenium uses of it, but
Yeah, whatever we are deciding, this is what we use in Selenium. But if you want to more get into details, you can just in Google you write encapsulation in Java.
okay.
You get many examples and how to execute. Even the course also you'll get it. How to, like as if we have written some example, right?
Yeah.
Along with
Yep.
Java. When you go for Java material, you get each and every topic concept the the details and information there. Because OOPS concept, when you type OOPS concept, you will get all the types of OOPS concept and the examples.
Yep.
Next, what is that? Encapsulation. What is encapsulation? Encaps means wrap it, pack it. When you pack it, when you want to keep it secure, then we pack it, right? We wrap it. The same way, encapsulation is a concept when you want to wrap your data. You don't want to access the data or the variable information outside.
Yeah.
Or to be changed by someone else.
Yeah.
You want to keep your secure information securely. Like your balance should not be modified even by your bank employees also.
Yeah.
Because whatever account balance you have, it should be safe. No one should edit it.
Yeah.
Even though bank employees, they have an authority, they can do any changes into your database, but they should not. How? Because of this encapsulation, where the value, the number, your balance will be wrapped in such a way that it will not be shared with, it will not be accessed by any of the method. Such information, if you want to change it, how will happen? So as soon as you deposit some amount, how is that getting modified? So you are indirectly changing it.
Yeah.
So encapsulation is, you can say, wrapping of data, or code, you can also say wrapping of data. How can you wrap? By using private. We have a keyword, right?
Yeah.
By making it private. For example, I'm just taking a class example. There are no main method. In this class, I'm declaring one variable, suppose integer x. No value to it. I'm not assigning any value. And I make this variable as private. Earlier we made public, right? Now I'm making this as private. When I make this variable private, only this class object can see this value. Other than this, no other classes can access, as you know. Right? But I want to, as there is no value assigned to it, I want to give some value to it. But now not possible because it is private.
Private. Yeah.
So I'm going to create one class sample with main method to it. Now, even though you create any object also, you can't access. But there is some yellow line under this X. Okay, some yellow line is the warning. I just make a mouse over it, and you see the value of this field X is not used.
Not used. Yeah.
And you also have how to fix it.
Yeah.
So
remove it.
create getter and setter for X. Means getter and setter are the two built-in methods in Java, with the help of which you can get the value of that X, variable X which you have declared. Also, you can set some value to that X. These are the two built-in methods.
Yeah.
So with the help, these are public methods. With the help of these methods, I will try to modify the private variable. So these are the two methods. I say okay. Methods got declared. Get X, get Y, set Y. When you're setting, it is taking an input.
But what is the point of setting it private when you can still define the value through a different?
See, now the same example I told you, right? Your balance should be private.
Yeah.
But right now it is 10,000. When you deposit one more thousand, it becomes 11. How?
Yes.
Because it is private, not
Yeah.
accessible. But how is it getting modified? Through one method. Whenever you deposit method only has a permission to change it.
Yeah.
When a deposition will happen, when you try to give your account details, yourself, find everything details, then only it gets deposited.
Yeah.
Okay? With all the IFC code, everything, when you provide sufficient information, then only the method can be called.
Yeah.
So I'm calling that method, deposit method, which is a private, and passing a value what amount you're depositing. So this value gets added to your current balance. You can write the logic here, what to do. Okay, I can change the parameter. This is an input parameter. I can make anything A, and this A is assigned to your internal variable X.
Yeah.
And get means to get the value of X. Right now, there is no value here to X. It is 0. When you say get the value of X, it is returning the value of X 0. When you say set A, whatever you will pass in the place of A, that will be assigned to X.
Yeah.
But unless I call these methods, the process won't happen. So to call these private methods, I can create object for this class because it is private, public class. Even dot. I want to know first the initial value of X. Get X. Coming from example class, integer. It is returning some value, correct?
Yeah.
When it is returning some value that is integer, I can store into another variable. Suppose P. And the data type of P also should be int. Whatever it is returning, I am storing into P and I can display. Display value P.
Yeah.
And I want to set the value. Set some value. So even dot, there is a set X, integer, void return type. Set what value you want to set? 50. Pass. After setting, I want to again get modified. It got modified, right? 50 to X. Then I want to check it. Also, I can again call getX.
Yeah.
But getX, I don't want to save it to a variable directly. I want to call in sysout. You can do sysout even dot getX without variable. Now you can execute this code. The initial value was 0. When you say get the value of this, then you have passed 50. Again, you say get the value of X. It is 50. So indirectly, with the help of private method, you can access it. Why you can access? Because this method is inside the same class as this variable can be accessed within locally, not outside.
Yeah.
So you have wrapped your private information, but you can also access it. The wrapping of such information is known as an encapsulation.
Yeah.
I think I should take one example on methods with parameters. Okay, let me take that and then continue this. Okay, let me create one class. Um, and in this class, I'll create different methods. Public, void, add. And the code of, I'll take two variables as well. Integer A with 50 and integer B with 10. And to store the result integer C. So these values, I can say C is equal to A plus B. And sysout C. Right? Now to get this result, I can take sample class. And here I'll create an object for this class. M1.add. When you execute it, you will get the addition of two numbers 60. This is a method void return type, no return type. Now you're getting output because of this sysout statement. If I comment this, I'll not get it. It is doing the action, but you'll not get output. So void return type and no input to this method. This
Yeah.
first. So I'll create one more method, public void sub void sub, and taking one input integer p and integer q.
Yeah.
Now whatever the c I'm going to make a result, I say p minus q and sys out the c. So during the runtime of this method, whenever I call this method, I may pass some input. Taking that input, the calculation will happen.
Yeah.
Since you're not going to take this a and b. Okay. So here, when I say m1 dot, there is a sub with two input. P is 20 and suppose q is 5 input cost. And I got 15 as the output. This is second scenario. Method with input and no output.
Mm-hmm.
Third one, public. Okay, public. I don't write void. I write multiplication.
Mm-hmm.
And so here I'm going to return a number. So I say return type is not void now. It is going to return some output. Mandatory output it is returning, no input. When it is returning an output, see there's an error here. How to fix it? Add return statement. Whenever
Yeah.
method is returning something, you should have a return clause.
Okay.
Return the value. So as the result will be stored here, C is equal to A into B. And I can say as the result is stored in C, I say return C.
Yeah.
When I'm calling this method m1 dot, there is a mul with return type integer.
Mm-hmm.
When it is returning something, I should pass it to a variable of same data type
Mm-hmm.
m, and this should be of integer.
Yeah.
Okay, and this you can display it or directly call in the sysout itself. Also here also you can write sysout. So two times it will display the result.
Mm-hmm.
I got the output. This is method without input but with output. Return
Yeah.
clause. Fourth one, public. It is going to return an integer division, and you can pass two input, integer p and integer q. Okay. Now this division is taking two integer numbers, and suppose c is equal to p divided by q. And as it is returning some output, you should have a return clause.
Return statement.
Return the c value. But if I divide any number, maybe in division, if I get some decimal point, it's
Yeah.
better I make it as a float.
Float. Yeah.
But when I'm returning the float, make sure that C should be of a float data type.
Yeah.
Type plus to integer. Here also I should make float. Okay. Now, when I am calling here the division, as it is returning some output, I can also call it directly with sysout.
Mm-hmm.
M1 dot the division with two inputs. Anything you can pass in numbers. Here also, as I change the data type, so all as the float data type became float, so point 0. This is also 0.0 I got.
Mm-hmm.
So quotient is nothing because this number is higher, right? Division
Yeah.
by 22 by 4 is 0 on the
Zero.
part here. So you got as a 0. So these are the different possibilities of a method you can define. Without
Yeah.
input, with input, without output, and with output. Okay.
Yeah.
Because something relating to this we just saw in the private variable, right? Get and set method.
Mm-hmm.
Here, this method was taking an input. So input parameter to a method. This is without input. Return type is there, integer. So you have a return clause. Here void is there, so no return clause. Void means return nothing.
Mm.
Whenever you have any data type to return, you should have a return clause, mandatory.
Yeah.
Okay? Any question? Manu?
No, Lakshmi. I'm going to go through this recording during the weekend again.
Yeah, yeah. Just work on this. Maybe tomorrow's session we'll discuss about other roots concept.
Yep.
Hmm?
Thank
Polymorph
you.
is returns and interface will see.
Sure.
Okay then. See you tomorrow at the same time.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Bye.